The pavement is unforgiving against my knees. Cold seeps through my jeans, and for a moment I can't tell if the trembling is mine or Lily's. She's burning in my arms, her little body slick with sweat, breaths shallow and uneven, her lips dry as cracked porcelain. "Claire," I whisper, my throat raw. My thumb shakes against the screen as I press her contact again. 1 ring. 2. 3. Voicemail. I will try again. Straight to voicemail this time. My chest tightens, each second a coil winding tighter, threatening to snap. People move past me, glances sharp and then gone, like I'm invisible, just another man slumped on a city street. They don't see Lily's damp curls stuck to her forehead. They don't hear the tiny whimper in her throat. "Claire, please," I mutter, hitting the call again, then again. My call log fills with her name, a line of unanswered pleas. Finally, my phone buzzes. Relief surges, until I read the message. "Busy right now. I'll call you later." My vision blurs. My daughter's breath rattles against my chest, but all Claire can manage is busy. I type back with trembling fingers. "She's burning up. I need you. Please." The dots appear, 3 tiny marks of hesitation, then vanish. No reply. I pull Lily closer, pressing my cheek against hers. Her skin is scorching, her small fists limp against me. My mind flashes through memories, her first steps across our living room, her laughter when I pushed her on the swings, the way she calls me daddy like it's the only word she ever needed. I look at the screen again, desperate for anything, and that's when the notification pops up. A tag on a post. Against my will, my thumb opens it. There she is. Claire. My wife. Her smile is wide, teeth gleaming, her arm linked through his. Adrian. The name I've never liked, the ghost from her past she swore was nothing. A cake glows with candles in front of them. The caption screams louder than any siren. "Celebrating with old friends tonight. Happy birthday, Adrian." The phone slips in my hand, nearly crashing onto the asphalt. I can't breathe. My wife is laughing in a room full of light while I'm kneeling in the dark, cradling our sick daughter who might not last the night. "Daddy?" Lily's voice is a faint thread. I clutch her tighter, forcing air into my lungs. "I'm here, sweetheart. Daddy's here." My vision shakes, but I drag myself up, one leg then the other, my arms straining to hold her weight. Every step feels like dragging chains through mud. The hospital is only a few blocks away, I tell myself that. I repeat it like a prayer. But beneath that prayer is the silence of betrayal. The woman I trusted with everything, who promised to be here for us, has chosen him. Not me. Not Lily. Him. And as I stagger forward, knees weak, chest burning, I realize something bitter. Tonight is the night I stop depending on her. The fluorescent light in the hospital waiting room flickers, a sickly hum filling the silence. Lily's small hand is wrapped around 2 of my fingers, her grip weak but present. I watch the rise and fall of her chest beneath the thin blanket the nurse draped over her, counting each breath like it might slip away if I don't. I lean back in the stiff plastic chair, my body aching from the hours on the street, from carrying her, from the weight of everything pressing down on me. And as I stare at her, memories unspool whether I want them to or not. Claire and I, back then, were different. We were 2 kids in love, standing in the rain outside her parents' porch, swearing the world would never pull us apart. She laughed when I promised I'd make enough money so she'd never worry about rent. She swore she didn't care about that all she wanted was me. I remember the day she found out she was pregnant. We were in our tiny 1-bedroom apartment, paint peeling from the ceiling, the hum of the broken fridge filling the silence after her words. Her eyes shone with something I thought was joy, and I promised her I'd work double shifts, triple if I had to. I meant it. And I did it. The factory floor, the constant ache in my shoulders, the smell of metal clinging to me no matter how much I showered, I took it all, because every night I came home to them. Claire, humming while folding baby clothes. Lily, barely breathing in her crib, a miracle wrapped in blankets. But time changes things. It started small, Claire's phone face down at dinner, her smile fading when I walked through the door, the way she laughed a little too hard at messages that weren't mine. I told myself it was stressful. That everyone drifts now and then. Then came Lily's sickness. The endless visits to doctors, the hushed conversations in sterile hallways. Claire cried the first time Lily collapsed in her arms. We held each other then, united in fear. I thought that moment sealed us, made us stronger. But the months dragged on. Bills piled up. I worked longer hours, my body grinding itself down, while Claire started slipping further away. "I need space," she said once, when I begged her to talk. Her voice was soft, but her eyes were cold. Space. While our daughter lay fevered. While I dragged myself through every night shift to keep the lights on. And now, she's at a birthday party. With him. I rub my temples, my chest heavy. I've told myself for years that love is sacrifice, that if I gave enough, worked enough, endured enough, it would be enough. That my strength wasn't in money or charm but in never walking away. But maybe Claire never saw that as strength. Maybe she saw it as weakness. I look at Lily again, her small fingers slack against mine. My throat tightens. For her, I'd do it all again. The factory shifts, the empty bank accounts, the loneliness. For her, I will keep standing even if everyone else walks away. I whisper, barely audible even to myself, "I'll keep you alive, baby. I'll prove it. My love isn't a weakness. It's the only thing that matters." Claire can chase ghosts. She can dance with Adrian in his golden light. But me? I've already chosen my fight. And it's here, in the faint rhythm of Lily's breath. The hospital clock ticks louder than it should. Each second drags, echoing in the pit of my chest. I sat slumped forward in the hard plastic chair, Lily curled on the bed beside me. Her small chest rises and falls in uneven rhythm, the 4-tube taped to her arm like a fragile lifeline. My eyes are burning from lack of sleep when the automatic doors sigh open. And then I hear them, her heels clicking on the tile. Claire. She looks out of place here, like a stranger stepping into the wrong room. Her hair is perfect, her blouse too clean, smelling faintly of perfume I can't afford. She clutches her phone in one hand, purse dangling from the other, like she's afraid to put anything down long enough to stay. "Daniel," she says softly, her eyes darting to Lily and then back to me, as if she's checking off a box rather than feeling it. "Claire." My voice is rough, stretched thin by exhaustion. "She's stable for now. The doctor said we'll have to wait until morning for more tests." She nods but doesn't sit. Her eyes flick to the glowing phone in her hand, thumb brushing over the screen. A notification lights up, Adrian's name. I see it before she can tilt the phone away. I bite down on the inside of my cheek, the taste of copper spreading across my tongue. "You're still talking to him?" Her lips press together. He needed me tonight. It's complicated. I laugh, but it's the kind of laugh that cuts instead of softens. Complicated? Our daughter is lying here burning with fever, and you think he needs you? She flinches, just barely, then shakes her head. "Don't make this harder than it is. I came. I checked on her. But Adrian." I slam my palm against the armrest, the sound too loud in the sterile room. "Stop saying his name like he owns you." For a moment, her eyes flash with something, guilt, anger, maybe both, but just as quickly, it fades into indifference. That's what hurts the most, not fire, not fury, just a quiet dismissal, like Lily and I are weights she can't wait to drop. "I'll come back tomorrow," she murmurs, already stepping back. Tomorrow. Always tomorrow. I stare at her, my hands trembling, but I say nothing. Because I know if I speak, the words will tear through me too. She leaves. The automatic doors close behind her with a hiss, sealing the air in the waiting room. Suddenly it feels smaller, heavier. The walls press in. My chest feels like it's collapsing. I turn to Lily. She stirs in her sleep, her little face pale against the pillow. I press my forehead against her hand, whispering into the silence. "It's just us, sweetheart. Just us." And in that moment, something hardens inside me. A truth I've been resisting finally settles like stone in my gut. I cannot rely on Claire anymore. Not for Lily. Not for me. The woman I once trusted with my future is already gone, she just hasn't said it out loud. The hospital room is dim, just the glow of the heart monitor casting green pulses across Lily's face. I sit hunched in a chair, her small hand locked inside mine, my thumb brushing the soft skin of her knuckles in steady rhythm. Every beep feels like a reminder that she's still here, still fighting. My phone buzzes against my thigh. It's my brother, Michael. I hesitate. He knows better than most what tonight has been. If he's calling now, it's not casual. I answer, keeping my voice low. "Mike." The sound on the other end is chaos, music, laughter, clinking glasses. Then his voice cuts through, sharp. "Dan, you need to hear this." I frown. "Where are you?" "Adrian's damn birthday." His words are spit through clenched teeth. "She's here. Claire." My chest tightens. She left the hospital and went back there. Yeah, Michael growls. I couldn't believe it either. I came to drag her back, but, hold on, listen. There's a shuffle, the muffled roar of a crowd, then voices rise clear as glass breaking. Claire, what the hell are you doing? That's Michael, his tone the same one he used to pull me out of fights as a teenager. And then Claire's voice, familiar, but strange now, laced with irritation. I came here for a friend, Mike. Stop making it sound worse than it is. A friend? Your daughter's in a hospital bed, fever breaking her in half, and you're here drinking champagne with your old flame. She snaps back, quick and cold. Daniel's overdramatic. Lily isn't dying. The doctors have it under control. And Adrian needed me tonight. My heart caves in. The words buzz against my skull, louder than the monitor, louder than Lily's soft breaths. Overdramatic. That's what she calls me, while my shirt is still damp with our daughter's sweat from when I carried her through the freezing night. I grip the phone so tightly I think it might crack. Michael's voice cuts back in, furious. Do you hear yourself, Claire? Need you? You're his wife, not his savior. Your family should come first. Her laughter, light, dismissive, bleeds through the line. You don't understand. Adrian's different. He's always been there for me, even before Daniel. Before me. The words sink in like knives. My mind reels backward to every late-night shift, every time I caught her smiling at a message and told myself not to ask, every moment I thought her silence was just exhaustion. I hear Michael again, voice breaking now. If Daniel could hear you. I don't care if he does, Claire snaps. He'll twist everything anyway. Something inside me shatters. I hang up before I can hear more. My hand drops the phone onto the chair beside me, my whole body shaking with a rage I can't release. I look at Lily, her fragile frame lit by that steady green glow, her lips moving faintly as if she's dreaming. I whisper to her, though my voice cracks. You're not too much, Lily. You're never too much. I'll never call this dramatic. I'll never call you a burden. The phone buzzes again, Michael trying to call back, but I can't answer. My ears are ringing with Claire's words, her laughter. I sit there in the silence, every muscle locked, every thought screaming the truth I'd been too blind to see. She chose him. Not me. Not us. Him. And in this moment, I swear, if she won't stand for us, then I will stand alone. The hospital entrance smells of disinfectant and rain. I stand just outside the sliding doors, the night air biting into my skin, but it's nothing compared to the fire twisting inside my chest. Lily sleeps upstairs, her fever finally breaking, but I couldn't sit still anymore. I needed air. I needed space to think. Instead, I found Claire. She's standing on the curb, scrolling her phone, the blue glow painting her face. She doesn't even notice me at first. Doesn't notice the way my hands clench into fists at my sides, the way my breath comes short and sharp. Claire. My voice comes out low, dangerous. Her head jerks up, and for a flicker of a second, guilt flashes across her eyes. Then it's gone, replaced by that cool, practiced indifference. Daniel. You should be with Lily. I stepped closer, each word sharpened to a blade. I was. While you were at Adrian's party. A few relatives, my aunt, my cousin, hover near the door, smoking and murmuring. Their eyes shift toward us, the air thickening with tension. I don't care. Let them hear. Let the world hear. Claire's shoulders stiffen. I needed a break. I can't suffocate in that hospital room like you do. I deserve happiness too. The words hit harder than any fist. My voice rises before I can control it. Happiness? You're talking about happiness while our daughter is fighting for her life. Her chin lifts, defiant. You make it sound like she's dying every time she sneezes. The doctors said she's stable. And Adrian. Don't. I spit the name like poison. Don't you dare say his name again. He doesn't belong in this. He belongs where I choose, she snaps back. He understands me. He doesn't smother me with guilt every time I breathe. Maybe I'm tired of always being the caretaker. Maybe I need someone who reminds me I'm still alive. The relatives shift uneasily, pretending not to watch but unable to look away. My chest pounds, my vision blurs at the edges. You call this being alive? I shout. Dancing at his party while your child burns up in my arms on the street? You call that life? Claire flinches, but she doesn't back down. You don't get it. You never have. You think sacrifice is love, but all you've done is chain me to your misery. The words slice me open. For years, I thought giving everything, my time, my body, my dreams, was proof of love. And here she is, calling it chains. Behind her, a sleek car pulls up. My gut twists. I don't have to see his face to know it's Adrian waiting. A shadowy presence, patient, inevitable, like a storm on the horizon. I step back, the fury draining into something colder. Go, then. Run to him. But don't you dare come back pretending this was about anything other than you choosing yourself over us. Her lips part, but no words come. For once, she has no defense. The car door opens. Light spills out. Her choice hovers there in the space between us, and I can already feel the weight of it pressing down on Lily and me. I turn away before I see her step inside. My legs tremble, my fists ache, but I force myself back toward the hospital doors. Toward Lily. Toward the only love left that isn't hollow. Behind me, the engine starts. And in that moment, surrounded by relatives whispering, I know, Adrian may not stand here beside her, but his shadow already lives in the ruins of my family. The hospital at night is a different creature. Hallways stretch endlessly, hushed and dim, the fluorescent hum muted to a low drone. The nurses move like shadows, their voices softened for the sake of children sleeping with wires and machines for lullabies. I sit beside Lily's bed, chin resting on the back of my hand, watching her chest rise and fall. Her fever's eased, but she's fragile, so small against the stiff hospital sheets. I've been whispering promises into the dark, half prayers, half confessions, when the door creaks open. Claire. She slips inside as if afraid to be seen, arms crossed, face unreadable in the pale light. She looks tired, makeup smudged, hair tied carelessly. For once she doesn't glow. Daniel, she whispers, glancing toward Lily before fixing her eyes on me. Can we talk? I straighten slowly, my jaw tight. Now you want to talk. Her lips part, then close again. She takes a step closer, lowering her voice. I shouldn't have left earlier. I know that. I messed up. The words land flat, without weight. Not because they aren't true, but because they feel rehearsed, like lines she's already said to herself enough times to dull their meaning. You didn't just leave, I say quietly, my voice rough. You chose him. While our daughter was lying here, you chose him. Claire winces, hugging her arms tighter. I can't erase what I feel, Daniel. I've tried. God knows I've tried to just bury it. But every time Adrian's around, it's like something wakes up in me that I can't kill. And when I'm with you, she falters, searching my face. It's different, heavy, suffocating sometimes. I laugh bitterly, shaking my head. So what? I'm suffocating, and he's your heir. That's what you came here to tell me. Her eyes glisten, though she blinks it back fast. I'm not saying I don't care. I do. About you, about Lily. But I can't pretend my feelings for Adrian aren't there. I can't erase them just because it would make things easier. I stare at her, silence stretching between us, broken only by the faint beeping of the monitor. Inside, something finally clicks into place. The thing I've been avoiding, fighting to deny, her heart isn't here. Maybe it never fully was. Do you even hear yourself? My voice trembles, low but sharp. You talk about feelings like they're storms you can't control. But this isn't about feelings, Claire. This is about choices. And tonight, again, you chose him. She looks away, guilt flickering across her face, but she doesn't argue. That silence is louder than any excuse. I glance down at Lily, her small body curled on the bed, machines humming steady around her. I brush a strand of hair from her forehead, my throat closing. She doesn't get a choice. She doesn't get to say, I feel sick, but I'm tired of fighting, so I'll stop. She fights. Every day. And I'll fight with her. Claire swallows, her hands trembling now. I don't want to lose you, Daniel. Or her. But I can't lose him either. The words settle between us like ash after a fire. Dead, final. I lean back in the chair, my body heavy, my voice almost too tired to rise. Then you've already made your decision. Just don't pretend it was about me being overdramatic or Lily being fine. This, I gesture between us, the sterile room, the weight of her absence. Was about you. Always about you. Her breath catches, but she doesn't argue. She just stands there, pale in the doorway, torn between two lives. I turn my eyes back to Lily. My choice is right here. It always has been. When the door clicks shut behind her, the silence feels almost merciful. The night drags like a slow blade. I haven't slept, can't. The hospital room is dim, machines humming their endless rhythm. Lily stirs sometimes, murmurs in her fevered dreams, and I smooth her hair back, whispering promises I'm not sure I have the strength to keep. My phone buzzes on the tray table. For a moment, my heart leaps. It could be an update from Michael, or maybe the doctor. But no. It's a notification from social media. Someone tagged me. I almost ignored it. But curiosity wins. And then I see it. The screen floods with color, movement, and laughter. Claire. My wife. She's in the center of the frame, hair catching the light, face lit with a joy I haven't seen in years. Not with me. Not even with Lily. She's laughing, her head tilted back, champagne glass in one hand, the other resting on Adrian's shoulder. The camera pans and there it is, his hands on her waist, guiding her as they dance to some pulsing beat, bodies too close, too familiar. Their faces glow in the warmth of candles and neon lights while confetti rains down. The caption twists the knife. Power couple vibes. Claire and Adrian stole the dance floor last night. I freeze. My fingers tighten around the phone until my knuckles burn. The video loops, again and again, Claire spinning in his arms, smiling like the world never hurt her. And me? I'm sitting in a plastic chair beside our daughter, who hasn't eaten in 2 days, her skin pale as paper, her breath weak as a whisper. For a second, I can't breathe. The room tilts, my throat closes. I want to throw the phone against the wall, shatter it to pieces, but I can't tear my eyes away. Because this isn't just betrayal. This is public, for everyone to see. Her friends. Our relatives. Strangers. They all know before I do. They see her joy while I'm buried in fear. They see a woman alive, radiant, while I am invisible, just a shadow hunched over a sick child. It breaks something inside me. Something final. Not just my heart, no, that's been cracking for months, but the thread of hope I didn't even know I was still holding. The foolish belief that maybe she'd come back to us, that she'd wake up and realize what mattered. That thread snaps clean. I look at Lily, her small chest rising beneath the blanket, and my vision blurs. She chose him, baby, I whisper. Not us. Not you. Him. The words taste like ash, but saying them makes it real. I set the phone face down on the tray, hands shaking, tears burning hot at the corners of my eyes. The world can laugh and cheer for them all they want. Let them dance under the lights. Let them toast to old love. I'll stay here in the dark, fighting for the only life that matters to me. And I swear, this is the last time I'll waste a tear on Claire's shadow. The morning light leaks through the hospital blinds, pale and cold. I've been awake all night, sitting stiff in the chair, the weight of that video still burned into my skull. Claire's laughter, Adrian's hands, those images cling to me like smoke. The door creaks. Claire walks in, wearing yesterday's clothes, hair tied back like she just threw herself together to appear present. She doesn't look me in the eyes. I brought coffee, she murmurs, setting a cup on the table beside me. I stare at it. The smell turns my stomach. You think coffee fixes this? Her lips tighten. I'm trying, Daniel. I came back, didn't I? I laugh, bitter and sharp. You came back because it's convenient. Because you know people are watching now after that video. You didn't come back for Lily. You didn't come back for me. Her silence confirms it. I lean forward, my voice low, steady in a way that surprises even me. We don't need you, Claire. Not anymore. I'll handle this. I'll handle everything. She bristles. Don't be dramatic. Don't, I snapped, louder than I intended. Lily stirs in the bed, and I force my voice back down. Don't call me dramatic again. You weren't there when I carried her through the street, burning up in my arms. You weren't there when her breath faltered. I was. And I will be, every time. With or without you. She looks at me like she wants to argue, but no words come. For once, she has nothing to stand on. I pull out my phone, not even glancing at her anymore. My fingers tremble as I dial the specialist's number the doctor gave me yesterday. My voice steadies as I explain Lily's case, ask about the treatment, the costs. Yes, I say, staring at the floor. I'll find the money. Just tell me what she needs. When the call ends, I open a different app, listings. The guitar Claire once bought me for my birthday. My old watch from Dad. Even the wedding ring on my finger. I take them off, one by one, photographing them under the hospital's harsh light. Each item feels like shedding skin I no longer need. Claire whispers, Daniel, You don't have to. I do, I cut her off, finally lifting my eyes to hers. Because I'm done waiting for you to decide if we matter more than him. I'm done being second place in my own family. She looks at me like I'm a stranger, and maybe I am. Maybe the man she knew, the one who bent, who begged, who believed in promises, is gone. I turn back to Lily, brushing my hand through her hair. It's just us now, sweetheart, I whisper. And that's enough. Inside me, the weight shifts. Still heavy, still painful, but different now, less like drowning, more like carrying. My back may break under it, but it will be mine to carry. Not hers. And for the first time in months, I feel something sharp and solid under the rubble of my life, strength. The beeping of the monitors has become a kind of cruel lullaby, a rhythm I can't escape. But tonight, for the first time in weeks, Lily's breathing is steadier, her forehead cooler under my palm. The doctor says the antibiotics are working, that her body is fighting back. It feels like hope, small, fragile, but alive. I step out into the hospital corridor to catch my breath and see a familiar figure leaning against the wall. Broad shoulders, crooked grin, hair shorter than I remember. Lucas Hayes. Danny boy, he says, arms open. You look like hell. I almost laugh, though it comes out more like a choke. That's one way of putting it. He hugs me, tight and grounding, and for a second I don't realize how much I've needed that simple human contact. When we pull apart, he claps me on the back. I heard, he says, eyes flicking toward Lily's room. Didn't want to barge in, but, you know I'm here. I nod, swallowing hard. Lucas and I go back years, high school band rehearsals in his garage, late nights cramming for exams, him always dragging me out for beers when life got too heavy. But then adulthood hit, work and marriage swallowed me whole, and we drifted. I'm glad you came, I managed. He doesn't waste time. I saw Claire. His face hardens, voice sharp. At Adrian's party. She looked comfortable. I close my eyes. The video still burns me, every frame etched into memory. Yeah, I whisper. She made her choice. Lucas studies me for a moment, then pulls an envelope from his jacket and presses it into my hand. What's this? Don't argue. He forces my fingers closed around it. It's not charity. Call it a loan. Lily needs treatment, right? Consider it covered for now. I shake my head immediately, throat tightening. Lucas, I can't take your money. You can, and you will, he interrupts firmly. You do the same for me. Don't even try to deny it. The weight of the envelope in my hand feels heavier than anything I've held in weeks. Not just because of the money, but because it's someone saying, I believe you're worth saving. Thank you, I whisper, voice cracking. Lucas leans in, steady and unshakable. You're stronger than you think, Danny. Don't let her, don't let them, make you feel like you're less. You're the one fighting for your kid. That's what matters. His words land somewhere deep inside, deeper than the hollow Claire left. Later, when I sit by Lily's bed again, listening to the soft hiss of her oxygen, I open the envelope. Enough to keep us afloat for a while. Enough to buy breathing room. I picture a life where Claire isn't beside me, and for the first time, it doesn't terrify me. The thought stings, yes, but it also brings a strange relief. Like standing at the edge of a cliff and realizing maybe I can learn to fly after all. I take Lily's tiny hand in mine, whispering, we'll make it, baby girl. With or without her. We'll make it. Her fingers twitch, curling faintly around mine, as if she's answering. And in that dimly lit room, I begin to imagine a horizon beyond betrayal, a horizon just for us. The smell of fried onions and roasted chicken hits me the second I step into Miller's Diner, the kind of family restaurant that hasn't changed in 20 years. I haven't been here in months, but Lily's been begging for their chicken noodle soup. Daddy, the kind with the big noodles, she'd whispered, voice thin but certain. So here I am, tired bones dragging, ordering takeout in a world that keeps spinning like nothing's wrong. I stand at the counter, waiting for the cashier to bag my order, when the door chimes behind me. My stomach knots before I even turn. Laughter. Familiar, sharp, unmistakable. Claire's laugh. And then his voice, Adrian's. Smooth, confident, the kind of tone that makes everything sound like a victory. I freeze, my pulse hammering. Slowly, as if my body isn't mine, I glance over. There they are. Claire in a cream dress I haven't seen in months, her hair loose around her shoulders. She looks radiant in a way she hasn't been at home in years. Adrian has his hand on her back, guiding her toward a booth like it's the most natural thing in the world. For a split second, my knees almost buckle. Images flash, me cradling Lily's fever-hot body on the street while Claire texted she was busy. Me begging her to come back to the hospital. And now this, dinner dates like we never existed. But then, just as fast, the wave passes. I grip the counter, ground myself. Lily. This isn't about Claire anymore. Not Adrian. Not what they steal from me. My daughter is waiting for her soup, for the comfort of noodles and broth to ease her fragile body. The cashier calls my name. I grab the bag, force my hands not to shake. Claire spots me then. Her smile falters, eyes widening just a fraction. Adrian follows her gaze, his lips curling into something between amusement and smug recognition. For the first time in weeks, I don't feel the urge to shout or collapse. I don't even stop walking. I pass them without a word, without a glance longer than necessary. The bag of food swings against my leg, and my only thought is don't spill it, Lily needs this. Behind me, I hear Claire's voice, low and uncertain. Daniel. But I keep moving, out the door, into the night. The cool air hits my face, washing away the suffocating heat of the diner. For the first time, her presence doesn't paralyze me. It stings, yes, sharp and merciless, but it no longer owns me. My steps are steady as I cross the parking lot, each one carrying me closer to Lily, farther from the wreckage of us. When I slide into the driver's seat, I catch my reflection in the rearview mirror. I look older, worn down, but my eyes hold something I haven't seen in a long time. Resolve. Hang on, baby girl, I murmur, starting the car. I've got you. The diner fades in the mirror, Claire and Adrian shrinking to shadows I no longer chase. My horizon isn't behind me, it's waiting ahead, and Lily is the center of it. It's late again when she shows up. The hospital halls are quiet, machines humming in the background like distant waves. Lily's finally asleep, her chest rising and falling in a rhythm that feels steadier than it has in weeks. I sit beside her, hand resting lightly on hers, when the door creaks open. Claire slips in. She looks smaller than I remember, like the weight of her choices is finally pressing her down. Her eyes scan the room, landing on Lily first, then on me. Daniel, she whispers, voice raw. Can we talk? I don't move, don't let go of Lily's hand. What's there left to say? She comes closer, hesitating like a child approaching punishment. I made mistakes. I got lost in things that don't matter. But you've always been steady. You've always been mine. Her voice cracks, and she reaches for my arm. Let me be here again. With you. With us. For a moment, the years flashed through me, the first time she kissed me under the bleachers, the vows we whispered at the altar, the nights we rocked Lily to sleep in the glow of a cheap lamp. I want to cling to them, but they slipped through my fingers like sand, replaced by nights of unanswered calls, her laughter over Adrian's shoulder, Lily's frail body trembling against mine while Claire danced somewhere else. I gently pull my arm away. Claire, you weren't lost. You chose. Again and again. And every time, it wasn't us. Her face crumples. But I love you. I love Lily. Doesn't that mean something? It means nothing if love isn't action. My voice is calm, steadier than I feel. Lily doesn't need half of you. Neither do I. She needs all of me. That's what I'm giving her. Her tears come fast, spilling down her cheeks. You're shutting me out. You're punishing me. I look at her, really look at her, and for the first time, I don't feel anger. Just distance. Like we're standing on opposite shores, shouting into a storm that's already passed. I'm not punishing you, I say softly. I'm protecting her. And myself. My life is Lily now. That's where my energy goes. Not into trying to fix something that broke too long ago. Claire sinks into the chair by the wall, sobbing quietly. But even as the sound fills the room, I don't move toward her. I can't. The tether that once held me to her has snapped, and all that's left is the clarity of where I belong. I stroke Lily's hair gently, leaning down to whisper, Daddy's right here. She stirs slightly, her lips parting into the faintest smile, and that's all the confirmation I need. Claire's sobs grow quieter, but her confusion lingers in the air like smoke. She doesn't understand that this isn't spite. It's survival. When the nurse comes in for vitals, Claire slips out without another word. I don't watch her go. My eyes stay fixed on Lily, on the rise and fall of her chest, on the fragile light of her smile. For the first time in a long time, I feel the ground beneath me solidify. Claire may spiral in regret, chasing ghosts of what she lost, but I know exactly where I stand. And it's here, at my daughter's side, where my priorities finally align with my heart. The children's ward has its own rhythm. Not like the chaos of the ER or the hushed solemnity of intensive care. Here, life clings stubbornly to fragile frames, and laughter blooms in between cries, like sunlight cracking through storm clouds. At first, I only sat in the corner, watching, listening, while Lily rested. Other parents moved around me like they belonged, trading small smiles and murmured encouragement. I thought I had nothing to offer. I thought my exhaustion made me an outsider. But then one afternoon, a man named Javier slid into the chair next to mine. His little boy, Mateo, was hooked up to more wires than Lily, yet Javier's face carried a strange lightness. "Tough night?" he asked gently. I nodded. Words stuck in my throat, but he didn't seem to mind. He leaned back, crossing his arms. "Every night is tough, but you get used to finding the little wins. A stable heartbeat. A laugh. A full meal." He tilted his chin toward Lily's bed. "That's your girl?" "Yeah," I said softly. "Lily. She's strong," he said, like it was a fact, not a compliment. And just like that, something shifted. Days blended into weeks, and the ward began to feel less like a cage and more like a strange kind of community. We parents sat together in the waiting area, swapping stories about sleepless nights, about the fear that gnawed at us in the dark. Nobody judged. Nobody turned away. There was a raw honesty here, a shared understanding that the outside world couldn't touch. I started helping where I could. Fetching water for a mother too tired to stand. Playing cards with a boy whose parents couldn't make it that night. Reading stories aloud when the nurses were stretched thin. It wasn't much, but it was something. And every time a child smiled, every time a parent squeezed my shoulder in gratitude, I felt myself knitting back together. Not into the man I had been, but into someone new, someone defined not by what I lost, but by what I could give. Claire's absence barely registered anymore. Her name still floated on the air sometimes, whispers from relatives, texts I ignored, but in this place, she didn't matter. Adrian didn't matter. Betrayal didn't matter. Here, there were only parents fighting for their children, and children clinging to life with all they had. Here, I wasn't a man abandoned by his wife. I was just a father, part of something bigger than my pain. One evening, as Lily slept more peacefully than she had in months, a nurse asked if I'd consider volunteering officially. "You're good with the kids," she said, her eyes kind. "And with the parents too. You have presence." I laughed softly, shaking my head. "Presence? I'm barely standing." "Maybe," she said. "But sometimes standing is enough. Sometimes that's what others need to see." Her words lingered with me long after she left. Later, as I held Lily's small hand and watched her chest rise and fall, I realized she wasn't the only one healing. I was too. Not through Claire's return, not through empty apologies, but through this new community of resilience, care, and fragile hope. For the first time, I wasn't just surviving. I was becoming. The first time I noticed Olivia Grant, she was crouched by Lily's bedside, adjusting her blanket with a gentleness that seemed second nature. She didn't just treat patients, she honored them. Her voice was soft, her movements precise, her smile unwavering even when exhaustion lined her face. When she stood, she glanced at me. "She's a fighter," Olivia said, and something about the way she said it, without pity, without doubt, lodged itself deep in my chest. Over the following days, I found myself looking forward to her presence. She always asked how I was, not just Lily. She never dismissed the weight under my eyes or the weariness in my tone. Instead, she acknowledged it. "It's hard, Daniel," she said once, handing me a cup of coffee. "Don't pretend it isn't. But you're still here. That matters." It was strange, being seen. Not as the abandoned husband, not as the desperate father scrambling for scraps of hope, but as a man who still had worth. One evening, Olivia lingered after her shift, sitting across from me in the dim glow of the waiting room. She talked about why she became a pediatric nurse, about the children she'd seen heal and the ones she'd had to let go. Her honesty didn't depress me, it steadied me. She carried both joy and grief like twin lanterns, and somehow, it made the dark less suffocating. For the first time in months, I let myself imagine a tomorrow that wasn't just survival. But that same night, Claire appeared. She stood in the hallway like a ghost, her makeup smeared, her eyes swollen with tears. "Daniel," she whispered, stepping closer. "We can fix this. Please." I I made mistakes, but Adrian doesn't mean anything. Not really. It's you. It's always been you. Her words twisted something inside me. For a moment, the echo of our past, the girl I once loved, the mother of my child, pulled at me. But then I looked at Lily through the glass, her fragile body still fighting. I thought of the nights Claire chose parties over hospital rooms. I thought of the video of her laughing in Adrian's arms while our daughter burned with fever. And I realized, this wasn't love. Not anymore. I met her gaze, steady this time. Claire, I don't hate you. But I can't keep bleeding for someone who doesn't show up when it matters. Lily needs me. And I need to be free of this. Her face crumbled. She reached out, but I stepped back. Goodbye, Claire. She left without another word. The sound of her heels faded down the hall like the closing of a chapter I'd been clinging to for far too long. When I sat back down, Olivia didn't say anything. She simply placed a quiet hand over mine, her warmth anchoring me. For the first time in a long while, I felt the weight in my chest ease. Not because someone promised to carry it for me, but because I realized I was strong enough to carry it, and I wasn't alone anymore. A fresh start. Not with grand declarations or sudden romance. Just with hope, steady and patient, like the steady pulse of Lily's hand in mine. Sometimes, when the hospital corridors go quiet, I still hear that night echoing in my bones, the night I staggered under the weight of Lily's fever, collapsing onto the pavement, begging for help while the world blurred into shadows. The night Claire's voice vanished into silence, her text a knife across my chest. Busy. That was the night I thought I'd die. Not just my body, but everything I believed in. But looking back now, I realize something else was born in that moment. It was the night I stopped waiting for someone to save me. The night I understood that love isn't proven by words whispered between drinks or smiles traded at parties. It's proven in the trenches, where pain and fear claw at your soul, and still, you refuse to let go of the ones who need you. Claire has faded into the background of my story, like a figure smudged in an old photograph. I don't hate her anymore. Hate takes too much space in a heart already carrying so much. She is simply gone. A shadow of choices that no longer bind me. Lily's laughter is what fills that space now. She's still fragile, her small body marked by nights of fevers and 4 drips, but when she smiles at me, toothy and radiant, I know I've done something right. Every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every hard decision, it brought us here. To this fragile, precious present. And then there's Olivia. I won't call it love, not yet. Love, real love, isn't something I can name so easily after everything I've lost. But her kindness, her presence, her quiet way of seeing me when I felt invisible. It reminds me that maybe love, though scarred, can be rebuilt. Maybe, in time, my heart can learn to trust again. I look at Lily now, curled up in bed with a stuffed bear bigger than she is, her chest rising and falling in peaceful rhythm. I brush a strand of hair from her face and whisper, "We made it, kiddo." Because we did. I died on that street, but what rose from that death was not just a broken man, it was a father reborn. Independent, scarred, but unafraid. My life is no longer about clinging to someone who cannot stay. It's about building a future, one step at a time, for the little girl who calls me Dad. And for the first time in a long time, I'm not afraid of what comes next.